Okay, welcome to the Victoria Tree Center for another Celebrate Sunday. Thank you to everybody who is here in person. Thank you to everyone who is tuning in online. We're so glad that you're here. So as I'm saying that, is there anyone here for the first time today? Oh yes! Way in the back row. Hi, what's your name?
I'm V.
V?
Yeah.
V, nice to have you here. Let's tell V how delighted we are that she's here. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here. Let's give a hand for V. Welcome, V. All right, thank you. So for V and for all of us, what is it that we come to do here? We come to do one thing and one thing only. To remember that love is all there is. Right? That love is the essence of everyone and everything. That love is the only thing going on. Call it nature, call it energy, call it universe, call it source, call it God. All there is love. And whatever it is that stands, that represents for you that most epic, amazing awesomeness that is the essence of everyone and everything, the interconnectivity, the activity, the boundless, limitless imagination and potentiality of everyone and everything, that's what we are here to remember. That's what we are here to realize. That's what we are here to celebrate on Celebrate Sunday. So if love is the only thing going on, then we're also celebrating the fact that each and every one of us here, everyone and everything, in person, online, that is, was, and ever will be, is pure, essential love. That's it. Nothing else. So how does that sound? Great. All right. Okay, so, and as we are celebrating love, we're also appreciating that we're doing so on the unceded lands of the Lekwungen-speaking peoples, the Esquimalt and Songhees nations. And so looking at what is up on the board here on the screen, we see that strength, integrity, vision, and stewardship are values and actions and ways of life that are embraced by these peoples. These are things that we also embrace, that we can also embrace more fully every moment of every day, knowing that as we do, we realize the love that we are and recognize the love that everyone and everything is around us. All right, so now I invite you to join in to our meditative tune. There is Only Love by Karen Drucker and Michael Welch.
Away from me, I
So just leaning into those harmonies and melodies, leaning into the love that is present not only in the room, but in, through, and as each and every one here. Leaning into that power, that presence, that profundity, knowing that there is nothing else, that love is all there is. And so as we anchor ourselves in this beauty, in this magnificence, in this incredible, amazing awesomeness, that is the only thing that is ever going on, that beingness, that opportunity, that infinite vibrancy, vitality, and potentiality that each and every one of us is, I'm so grateful to know that our very time together today is founded and grounded in love only. And so as we open our hearts, as we celebrate the love that we truly are, that everyone and everything truly is, I'm so grateful to know that that love is more deeply, richly, fully embodied in every single fiber of our being. And so as we move on from moment to moment to moment, knowing that every now moment is the only moment of pure creativity, let us take opportunity, let us accept the invitation, let us celebrate the love that we truly are right here, right now, and always. So with gratitude, with joy, with reverence and celebration, I release my word as law, knowing that love is all there is, as together we say, and so it is. One mic on, one mic off. All right. So, moving into a little bit of sharing time with our monthly theme, which is rising above, and our affirmation for the month is, in letting go, I rise above. And so I'm thinking that by now everyone knows that this theme is inspired by David Hawkins' book, Letting Go, The Pathway of Surrender. Every single talk that I have done in the last month and a half, whether it's on a Sunday or on a Wednesday, has been inspired by that book, been pulled from a chapter in that book. And so the theme really is about what is it that we can let go of so that we can free ourselves up to experience who and what we are more spaciously, more graciously, more easily. So I invite you to take a look at the theme, take a look at the affirmation, and then just contemplate or open up to what's that looking like for you right now in this moment. Maybe some stuff has come up over the last month and a half, but right here, right now, what is rising above feeling like? What is it bringing up for you? Who is ready to start off our shares? Linda.
Today is our 40th wedding anniversary.
Whoa! Let's take a moment to celebrate that. 40 years.
40.
Oh, Linda, congratulations to you. Wow.
So, in letting go, I think sometimes you have to let go of ideas, how you think life's going to be, and it's all about compromise. And, I would like to say it's been hard, but it hasn't. We've been very, very lucky that both of us are in good health, that we both love to travel, that we both have a lot of similarities, but we don't do everything together. So sometimes people have that idea that you have to be, have all the same hobbies to connect, and you don't. So that's something that we've learned. But it's sometimes you have to let go of what a perceived idea is, and kind of listen to each other and let some stuff go.
Beautiful. 40 years, celebrating 40 years of wedded bliss, and it sounds like most of it has been bliss. And I congratulate you, because I'm going to stand here and offer that you guys aren't lucky. You guys attracted each other. You're vibrating at whatever frequencies you're vibrating at, and it doesn't matter if there's some stuff that Ron likes and some stuff that you prefer, and it doesn't necessarily sync up. but you are choosing every moment of every day to co-create a life together. And luck has nothing to do with it. Not in new thought, at least. Right? Okay. So take some credit. Credit where credit is due. All right? Thank you, Linda. Who else would like to offer something about rising above or the affirmation? Oh, here we go, Sula.
I just wanted to share my experience this week through experiencing, I don't even want to use the word, it's discomfort in my body. I was going to use sometimes I call it P now, so I'm not, Anyways, and so the way I've been navigating it is to just say yes and not go into a story about that sensation or about the emotion or about whatever it is. And just yes, to acknowledge it and let it go. And it's been really helpful. So I wanted to offer that to you.
Beautiful. I'm hearing a little bit of radical acceptance, just acknowledging whatever it is that is coming up, and that you don't need to attach yourself to it by calling it something, by giving it a role, by identifying with it in some way, which is, something that David Hawkins has talked about quite a bit in the book. And towards the end, when he gets into the basic principles and the relationships that we have to letting go and how this can sort of impact our lives, that's one of the big, big things, is to not claim anything that you actually don't want to have happening in your life, that you don't want to experience. Because as soon as you claim it as yours, as soon as you name it, you're giving energy and attention to it, and that's what you're experiencing. Thank you for sharing that. All right, time for one more share. Anyone? just in case, you had your hand up or something. No? Okay, then you know what? We are going to move along and go to our feature solo. And Bob, would you like to tell everyone what you chose and why you chose it?
Well, it ties in with the theme that Lesia is talking about. Let it go. Amazingly, that is what is the title of this song, Let It Go. And of course, another way of saying it is surrender. That word is also in here. I think you'll understand why I chose this song.
Thank you, Bob. Thank you. That was lovely. Thoughts, diseases, wounds, surrender, let them go. Hang on brand, so to speak. Yeah, that's like amazing. Thank you. What a lovely song and what an incredible call to action. That's what we have been exploring all month and a half long, is letting go and the power of surrender. So, for the last month and a half, we've been exploring what letting go can look like. And every single morning, I meditate. It's been a practice of mine for many, many years now. It can change sort of the way it looks, but one of the things that really has sort of made its way into my morning routine is listening to Power Thought Affirmations by Kenneth Swattis, who I follow on YouTube. And I have a few favorites, and when I find one that really resonates, that seems to be the one that I listen to for months and months and months on end. And one of them that I discovered a few months back was on conquering bad habits, strengthening self-control, and self-respect. And there's a line in there that he has. It's just a slew of affirmations to some really cool music that he composes, and there are visuals, which I never really get to see because I only listen. But one of the lines in the last couple of weeks just really was coming up loud and clear because it was so resonant with what it is that David Hawkins is talking about in his book, Letting Go. And it is this: all negative emotions can and should be used as feedback and fuel for healing and expansion of consciousness. I'm going to say that again. All negative emotions can and should be used as feedback and fuel for healing and expansion of consciousness. So what he's offering here is that any kind of emotion, he's talking about negative emotions, but any emotions really can be used as information. That it's not something that we need to identify with. It's not even something that we need to experience necessarily, unless it's something that is going to help us to expand into a greater expression of who and what we are. But it is information that we can use to decide consciously how we're going to step into the next now moment. And so when he's talking about should be used as feedback, it's like, well, this is what's coming up, this is maybe what's going on, this is what's been going on up until now. But fuel, this information, is fuel on how I can move forward in a more expansive way. Now, in letting go, David Hawkins talks about a few key things that are necessary for this letting go technique, or mechanism, as he calls it. The first one is stop identifying with the feelings that you're experiencing. Stop calling them mine. They're just feelings. They're information that you can use, like Kenneth Swattis says in his thing, to decide how you're going to move forward in the next now moment. And as soon as you shift from mine to a or mine to some, you detach yourself from those emotions. And then when you detach yourself, you're not experiencing them, which means you become more observational. And you can either experience or you can observe. When you're experiencing, you're in the middle of it, and you're just sort of like wrapped up in whatever is going on, not really doing anything consciously. But when you pull back enough to be in an observational state and just get curious about, what's this information I'm receiving? What is this information I'm experiencing? Then you can actually consciously choose how to step into the next now moment. He also talks about giving something new meaning or context. And this really speaks to the stories that we like to tell, the drama and the trauma that we like to hold on to, that we like to share with others, because it fuels us. We get a payoff out of it. We get to be the victim. We get to blame someone. We get to separate ourselves from everyone and everything else, and we get to really, really, really live our small self, which sounds so fun, right? No. And so you give a new meaning or a context. And so if something is happening, how can you pull out just a little bit and shift your perspective just enough so that you create a new experience for yourself. No one else can do that for you. You get to do that for yourself. And we get to do this every moment of every day. So instead of seeing something as a problem, it is a challenge. Instead of seeing someone as being, a person who really pisses us off, that person is a gift for us to step into loving kindness and compassion. Anything that we see that is something that is hard, that is even challenging, that feels negative, we can choose to see it as a blessing and as practice to, instead of focus on that attention and really, really pay negative attention to something, thereby expanding it in our life experience, to go, no, that's not what I'm choosing. Instead, I am choosing this. Even if I'm not looking at this, that's a choice. But we also get to choose stuff that is up on this map of consciousness that we have been exploring. And we want to go up, up, up so that we can get to the areas of love and joy and peace. According to David Hawkins, most people are hovering around the 200s, maybe into the 300s, which is a great place to be if you have been in a world of shame, guilt, apathy, grief, fear, etc., and so on, in those lower vibrations. But there's so much more. And so when we move up, when we keep letting go of these layers, these roles, these expectations about ourselves, about people in our life, we literally free ourselves up to experience who and what we truly are, which is, anybody? Love. More deeply, more richly, more concretely, more joyously, more fully in every single fiber of our being. David Hawkins also talks about how sometimes it can feel really hard to let go of whatever negative emotion we're experiencing. Well, there's a bridge. Be willing. Just be willing. If you can't let it go in the moment, ask yourself, am I willing to let it go? If the answer is yes, even if it is the remotest, faintest, teeniest, tiny whisper, you're already on your way to letting go. You've already made a decision. You're choosing consciously that I don't want this anymore. I want something else. He also talks about resisting payoffs, right? Like victimizing, blaming, shaming, othering. There's a lot of great sort of, energy that comes in those payoffs. But is that the energy that we want to use to create our life experience? No. What he talks about, and I just love this phrase when I heard it, becoming sweetly reasonable. Oh, how lovely is that? Letting go of all of that stuff so that we can become sweetly reasonable. Walking through life, sweetly reasonable. When there's a challenge, being sweetly reasonable. When there's a relationship that, maybe is a bit tenuous, approaching it with sweet reasonableness. It's just such a lovely, light, joyful phrase. Now, David Hawkins says, a thought is a thing. It has energy and forms. So just because it's something that we can't see, just because it's something that we can't necessarily feel, thought is energy, as is everyone and everything else. It just hasn't materialized or particularized into an experience that we can feel or see or experience through our senses. But that's how it all starts, with a thought. And so if we want to experience different forms, different experience in our life, then we got to have some different thoughts. Now he also says, the mind with its thoughts and feelings controls the body. Therefore, to heal the body, thoughts and feelings need to be changed. Well, anybody here heard of something called change your thinking, change your life? Right? Yeah? Okay. So this is what it's all about. It can feel sometimes like the body is the boss of us. The aches, the pains, aging, oh my God, an injury, a diagnosis, having a cold. All of that can feel like the body's in charge. But it's not. Our mind controls the body. And if we want to experience something else in our body, we need to consciously choose to use our mind differently. Now, that's easier said than done sometimes, right? I mean, there's research that shows that we have over 6,000 thoughts a day. which translates to if you're awake about 18 hours, because some people don't sleep so well, if you're awake about 18 hours, that translates to about 333 thoughts an hour, or over 5 per minute. Okay? There's also research that shows we have over 70,000 thoughts a day. And if that's the case for an 18-hour day, that is approximately 3,888 thoughts per hour, over 64 per minute, which is more than a thought per second. No wonder we have spiritual practices like meditation and mindfulness to calm our mind, to not necessarily clear our mind, but to become aware of the thoughts that are coming in, and to choose whether those thoughts are something that we want to entertain, or whether we want to go, thank you, acknowledge them, they're coming up, they're happening, just saying, yes, that's what's happening, but then coming back to this. This is what I am. This is what I choose. The peace, the calm, the love, the knowingness that I am bigger and more powerful and creative and resilient than any of that stuff that is flowing through my mind. 6,000, 70,000, anywhere in between. It doesn't matter. We are the ones who choose. And the important thing is to choose with awareness, choose consciously. Now, David Hawkins also says, thoughts are caused by suppressed and repressed feelings. When a feeling is let go, thousands or even millions of thoughts that were activated by that feeling disappear. So imagine if you are navigating grief, if you are navigating fear, shame, guilt, any of the things, anger, pride, on the lower levels of that realm of consciousness, all these thoughts coming into your mind, if they're generated and activated by a feeling, what would happen if you let go of fear? What could life feel like if you let go of anger, pride, having to be right, having to make sure the other person is wrong? What could it feel like? How could you free yourself up to express as a more loving, sweetly reasonable being? The being that you truly are. He also says, although a specific belief can be canceled and energy to it can be refused, it is generally a waste of time to try to change thinking itself. And so the whole point that he's trying to make here is that it's fine to consciously think, this is what I want, this is who I want to be, this is how I want the world to, be, sort of thing, my life. But if all you're doing is going after the thoughts, there's all these feelings that are still in play that are generating those thoughts. So it's almost kind of like symptom versus cause. And we want to get to the cause. We want to get to the root. We want to let go of those feelings that are in play so that those thoughts aren't being generated anymore. So in the last week, I had a couple of really cool experiences. One was last Friday. I woke up really early in the morning and I just had this desire to soak in a bath with some really, really lovely salts. I was still feeling kind of achy from the fall that had happened, a few weeks ago, and was really getting tired of the stiffness in my knee and my ankle, and I just felt like I'm just done with this. I'm going to soak in a bath. I'm going to meditate in a bath. And so it was really early in the morning. Glenn was already at work. I think Mercury, our cat, was outside. And so I filled the bath, put in these beautiful salts, lit a candle, turned off all the lights, and then just lay there in the dark and meditated quietly to some music that Joe Dispenza uses for meditation. And it just felt so beautiful. And then when I was done, I thought, okay, now I'm really going to go meditate. No distractions in the bath, the water, the salts or whatever. And so I lay down and I put on this music for an hour. And it's music that Joe Dispenza uses in his Tuning into New Potentials meditation. And I put it on, and just lying there, completely relaxed and feeling limp from this really, really lovely hot bath with Epsom salts and aromatherapy, I just closed my eyes and listened to the music and just started letting go. Started becoming aware of anywhere in my body where there was any congestion, any tension, any dis-ease, any discomfort, and just opened up to, what am I experiencing here? and what is there to let go of. And slowly but surely, every single area in my body where I felt any stiffness, any tension, any congestions, any inflexibility, immobility, all started to disappear until I got to an area in my leg here. And I'm like, whoa, what is this? Instead of like, oh my God, what is this? It's just like curiosity, what's happening here? And so focusing on it, just gently, with awareness, that's it. And it was so deep inside my leg, and it was just this stiffness, like this tension that just wouldn't let go. And so I wasn't spending any time arguing or wondering, or how did this happen, or like going into investigation. All I was doing was just being curious and experiencing. And eventually I found my attention drift somewhere else in my body. I felt some more tension just dissolve and melt away. And then when I came back to that area, it was gone. And then it started to come up again, and I'm like, oh, isn't that neat? And then it just disappeared. And that was it. And after about an hour, and then another half an hour of prayer and treatment for people in our community, and then another 20 minutes of positive intelligence work, I finally turned off my phone, took out my earbuds, and I could already feel like, oh my God. I stood up, my ankle was back to normal, my knee was back to normal, perfect mobility, no aches or pains or anything. Thank you, David Hawkins, letting go. And it just felt so great because those were physical things that were getting in the way, I thought, of me leading a life of like full joy and activity and all that kind of stuff. So that was the first thing. The second thing was, yesterday morning I facilitated a 9D transformational breathwork journey at the clinic where I used to work. And so there were 6 people who were journeying, and it was about an hour-long journey, and then there was time on either side for intros, and then it was post-journey integration time. And watching these people lean into the fear, the trepidation, I have no idea what is going on here, I have no idea what to expect in the moment or on the other side of this journey, but just open up to all the different bodily sensations that they were experiencing, the things that could normally cause panic for someone if they didn't feel that they were in a completely safe space. And then all the stuff that they were letting go of, that they were getting rid of, that they were unburdening themselves of, that had been trapped in their bodies for who knows how long, that wasn't even placed there by them, was something that was multi-generational from generations back. It was astounding. And at the end of this primal scream, when everybody just unleashed all of this stuff out into the world, the sense of calm and peace and acceptance and gratitude and love was extraordinary. And it was all because they chose consciously to lean into whatever negativity that they had been experiencing that they weren't even aware was there until it came up, so that they could let it go. There was no thinking involved in this process. It was all through breath and just releasing, 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 releasing. It was so powerful. So going back to the map of consciousness, what we really want to do is we want to take a look at this, he's got the God-like view, the God view, the life view, the level, the log, the emotion, and the log isn't as important, the numbers, the emotion and the process. And as we've moved through this book in letting go, and we've moved up the map of consciousness, we can see that even though hovering around the 200s and 300s, courage, neutrality, willingness, and acceptance, there are such beautiful aspects, merciful, hopeful, optimism, transcendence. Those all sound great, right? But if we continue letting go, if we continue transcending who we think we are, the stories that we've told, up until now, the behaviors that we've entertained up until now, all the thoughts, beliefs, feelings, and everything we've experienced up until now, if we can let go of all of that and really, really open up to this understanding, this knowing, this embodiment, that each and every one of us is love, that each and every one of us is God, that each and every one of us is the entire infinite expanse of universe in action. Every moment of every day, we keep rising to joy and peace and maybe even enlightenment. And if we can all do that individually, just imagine the kind of world that we can live in. So if we all do our part, if we really choose to let go of the stories, the thoughts, the beliefs, and importantly, the feelings that get in the way of us experiencing our true selves, then we open up to being these loving, beautiful, amazing, sweetly reasonable people that in turn up-level the consciousness, the lovability, and the lovingness of the entire world. And not just now, but going backwards for our ancestors, going forward for whomever it is that is on their way. So my question to you is, what are you willing to let go of? Because the process is ongoing. What level are you willing to work up to? Because that process is ongoing. As always, the choice is up to you. Thank you, and so release. All right, time for some conscious conversation. How about each side of the room, 2 smaller groups, and that way there's about 4 people in each group and everybody gets a chance to do a little bit of sharing, okay? And when I hit the meditation bowl, it's time to come back. Thank you. this one, and purchase later Caesar, it's their time. I noticed that they're carrying my crochet, but I'm just having a bad time or I'm just having that small little they are so they're watching the information. You know, once you start to know that, and I just say that also, God, even if I was talking to girl, I don't know what they are. It's kind of just come back to, okay, so now what else is always think, okay, I'm grateful that I brought you, like, watching this grass, and what else is going to be instead of just, like, just sitting there, okay, because then for once I kind of like, I don't let it grow and see what else I think.
Just let it roll. That's something that makes you listen to the story.
You know, we had the
None of which I'd like to point out, only two of the children are home. The rest of them are
There's a feeling that
something started this one's wrong, and this one's
she doesn't know the full picture.
Don't go away. There are times
there's a distinction. Here is a I guess there's
Good morning, everyone.
in the direction of people. And it's wonderful. Life is difficult right now, and you just sort of sit there and show yourself. So come back and shine, start swimming. You have to try yourself. Realize the only expectation of care, living in air, so.
And when I say spiritual center, not only is it the space, the operations, how we make things run, the lights, all that kind of stuff, having musicians come in, but also this spiritual center that is at the very core of each and every one of us, that is who and what we are. So if you feel that you have been spiritually inspired or nourished today and would like to contribute, we gratefully receive whatever it is that you'd like to give. There are envelopes on the back table by the silver bowl. If you would like to write your name and information on there, put some money in there and into the silver bowl, then you'll get a tax receipt. You can also donate via e-transfer, info@victoriatruthcenter.org. Please note that center is RE. And if you do e-transfer, then if you could please write down your name in the sort of the item line and what event you were at, so that our bookkeeper, our treasurer, Gloria, can keep track, all right? However it is that you are choosing to give, I invite you to place your hand on your heart as together we declare the abundance affirmation. In gratitude I give, in gratitude I receive, by joyously contributing to my spiritual center, I celebrate the infinite possibilities of living life lovingly, and so it is. And so I invite you to close your eyes or lower your gaze as we really steep ourselves in gratitude for this moment, for our time together today, for this community that is building, that is growing, that is evolving together, for the infinite possibilities of who and what we can become individually, collectively, and for our world. Knowing that whatever it is that we contribute is an investment in ourselves, in our community, and in our world. And so the more we invest, the more we give of ourselves, the more is returned to us, and the more we experience who and what we truly are, that love that we truly are, more and more and more every moment of every day. So grateful, so blessed, and so it is. Announcements. We have a brand new event starting tomorrow night right here. Fourth Mondays, we now have music and mantras happening with Coralina Shante. It's going to be such an extraordinary healing evening of music and sound and song. Coralina is an incredible folk singer, a beautiful mystical maiden, so tuned in, and she's going to be creating chants and mantras based on whatever it is that is happening in the room. So every fourth Monday, starting tomorrow, 6:30 to 8:30 p.m., music and mantras, and the personal investment is either $22, $33, or $44, whatever you'd like to contribute. This Wednesday is fourth Wednesday of the month, so that means elevate your creativity. And if you take a look around the room and see the tissue paper lanterns that were created at the very first Elevate Your Creativity, that's what we're going to be doing again this Wednesday with Joanne Hugo. It was a really, really lovely evening, a really super amazing, fun way to be creative. Suggested offering, love offering is $10 for that. This Friday, Radiate number 7. Radiate is now turning into more of a spiritual salon or a discussion group than it is a spiritual cabaret. And this Friday, Mark McLean, who is one of our regular Radiate goers and was actually in my Authentic Relating Level 1 class that I took last month, or in March, he is going to be doing the guest talk on psychosynthesis, which is something that I know almost nothing about. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what it is that he's going to present, because there's going to be an exercise that he's going to guide us through as well. And it is about recognizing what is going on in your psyche from a spiritual perspective in order to experience a better life. So pretty much what we're doing here anyway, just, you know, from a different purview. Now, last Sunday, for those of you who weren't here, who weren't at our AGM, we welcomed 23 new members to the Victoria Tree Center community. And what a beautiful celebration it was. And so knowing that there are so many new people that are helping to build this community together, one of them came up to me last week, Roque, and said, hey, I'd really like to be of service. What can I do? And he's now shadowing Glenn on Wednesdays at Elevate so he can learn all the tech stuff and he can be a support in that way. So this is an opportunity for you to step up into service, whatever it is that you would like to do, however it is that you would like to contribute. Please come to me, please come to one of our board members and let us know so that we can highlight and showcase your talents and your skills and build and grow VTC together, okay? What can we know for you? There are prayer requests on the back table there in front of the little butterfly box. If you or someone you know is in need of prayer, please fill one out and the VTC prayer team will pray for you or yours affirmatively. If you're not already on our newsletter list, it is the best way to make sure that you know what's going on in our community. There is a newsletter sign-up sheet back there. And is there anyone in the community that has an announcement that they would like to share? Okay.
Yeah, tonight there's Authentic Relating at 6:30.
Oh my gosh, thank you. You know what? I don't have a slide for that. Good enough, right? Yes, with Bernice Round. Oh, I'm sorry, I have that in the newsletters, and yeah, I totally forgot to do it. Thank you very much for that reminder. 6:30 to 9, Authentic Relating Games with Bernice Round. The theme is good enough, happening here tonight. Thank you.
Does everything happen at the end of the month?
What's that?
Does everything happen at the end of the month?
4th weeks are turning out to be a really heavy week for sure. But Authentic Relating is 1st and 3rd Sundays, I believe. Yes, 1st and 3rd Sundays, so it just kind of coincided that way. All right, so I'm going to ask everybody to stand up. We're going to sing our final tune together. One Big Family by Mary Lynn Floyd. All right, and we can really use the tambourine if anybody has it. Thank you to everybody who's here. Give yourself a hand. And thank you to everyone who tuned in online. We love you. We appreciate you. We're so glad you're here. We'll see you next week.